lighting in this game is handled a few different ways. There's essentially like 2 different ways that, well, more like 3 different ways lighting is handled. I don't know what the technical term for it would be, so we'll say high quality lighting, low quality lighting, and artificial lighting, okay? High quality lighting is the stuff you see when like Snake's got his flashlight and you've got the really cool dynamic shadows and things. Low quality lighting is just the shading that you see on the corners here. So it is actively being shaded by the engine. It's not a part of the texture. And then the low quality stuff, the artificial lighting would be like the shadow of the sink here. Okay. So you see the shadow on the sink on the floor right there? How it's casting a shadow? That is not a real shadow. That is a part of the texture. That's why it goes away when I highlight the texture. But notice over here in the corner, when I highlight the texture, you can still see the shadow on the wall because that is being generated by the game engine. So that is, we'll say, a low quality texture. Yeah, real-time baked and painted, we'll say. Real-time baked and painted. Thank you, Barbarous. That was excellent. Barbarous is my partner in crime when it comes to game development. And he knows a lot more about things on a technical level than I do. Not specifically MGS2, but more generally as it comes to development. So, he's a smart guy. So yeah, we'll say real-time, baked, and painted. So in order to see the real-time stuff, we have to go to the hallway underneath the deck on your way to the holds, where Snake's got his USP flashlight and you can shine it around. There is sort of a specular lighting effect going on here that is just a texture that the game is putting in there. So it's MGS2, in order to get the game to look as good as it did on a PlayStation 2 without all the advanced hardware that you might have on a PC at the time, they did all these little tricks where things look more detailed and more dynamic than they actually are, and this is a good example of that, is how they did the lighting. So you've got all these little details like the shadowing and the lighting, and even though they're not real lighting, they look good. And so, you know, the presentation of it is what matters, not necessarily the how, if that makes sense. You see how those 2 little spotlights are shining down? And there's textures there, and there's shadows there? That's all baked into the texture. It's not really, like, here, I'll show you. There it is. There, you see? No shadows. No lights. Other than one sort of like specular light on the top there. Like there's a little bit of actual light there. But that little haze around the light is actually another texture. So it's all just a lot of it is like really clever texture effects, though there are some really cool effects.